Alright, so I'm going to be showing you how to use the flow portrait. This is something that obviously you can use on anywhere you have internet connection.
Do you want me to click into the create my yearbook?
On your what?
Do you want me to click on create my yearbook?
And you create your yearbook?
Yeah, to the left there.
So there's online. Oh yeah, online design. Yeah. Always maximize your window when you're working on this. And we are still waiting to hear from Yearbook 2 whether or not they want the sections to look exactly the same. You're working on the 7th and 8th grade panels. Ross Kerr is working on 9th, 10th, and 11th. And they will tell you exactly, if they want it to look exactly the same or not. But anyways, so once you're in here, are you in?
Yeah.
All right. So once you're here, you're gonna click on the student body picture tab,
Okay.
and it's gonna load. You're gonna see that you have some options here on top: browse, flow, edit index, or flow index. The only ones that you're really gonna use is the flow portraits, and perhaps maybe browse. You're going to see once that loads that this is separated by grade. You see the number 10, this is for 10th grade, and it says that in 10th grade there are 107 individuals. That does not mean that this is exhaustive. It does not mean that that there are only 107 students in here on 10th grade. It's going to be pretty close, but it just indicates how many kids have pictures. If a kid was absent on picture day, or for some reason they didn't want to take pictures, and they also missed the makeup picture day, then their pictures, the numbers are not here. Okay, so you cannot go by this and say, okay, there's 107 kids in 10th or 122 in 11th. I don't know why there's a 12th grade here. We're not supposed to have any seniors. Let's take a look at what they have. Are these seniors?
Yeah.
Huh. Okay. So, anyways, these are a surprise to us. Perhaps they just went there. Whatever. I'm going back to browse. See if I can go to grades. All right. So, anyways, so you see that you're going to be working with 7 and 8. Okay. And Ross is going to be working with 9th, 10th, and 11th. So pick a grade. Anyways, let's move on here. You're going to see that there's more teachers and whatever, but if you're not working on those pages, then you don't have to worry about these. So the first thing you want to do is you want to click on Flow Portraits. And you're going to pick a grade that you're going to start flowing. And in this case, I don't know, choose in your head which one you want to do. Choose 8th. Oh shoot, let me fix that for you. So the way I fix that is basically I have to go to the staff, and I need to make you an editor. So let me see here. You are Schaefer. Did I miss your name or something? Where'd it go? Oh, right there. Okay, so let me see. Click and drag. Schaefer. Yep, okay, so you're an editor right now, and you're supposed to be able to flow portraits. Give it a little bit of time, maybe 20 seconds or so. Click on flow portraits again and see if it works. You should be get to this portrait flowing wizard. Alright, so in here you have a choice to start a new one or modify one that you already created or deleting one, okay? Now, I was playing with it yesterday showing Ross how to use it, so you already have a 7th grade. Make sure you selected a new portrait flow and click on Create. Okay, so just remember that you already have a 7th grade. You're going to play with 8th grade, and I'll play with, I don't know, juniors. Okay? So on the general tab here on the left, you can choose to flow by a certain category, and in this case here, we're going to flow them by grade. So select grade off the drop-down list. And in this case here, you're going to be flowing one group, which is one grade, to one or more pages because you have several spreads. Make sure that first option is selected. And then you'll get to choose what group you want to flow, and in your case, you're going to choose 8th grade, so number 8. And I'll be going with juniors, which is 11. On the bottom here, you have some options. You can decide the way and the layout of your panel. Do you want, these little boxes here are the photographs. So do you want your panel to be photographs and then names on the left-hand side? Or do you want them to be names, photos, and then the names underneath, which what they call the mugs? Okay, so this is a decision that has not been made yet. Yearbook 2 is looking at this, but in this case, you can choose whatever. Okay, so I'll just go with, you can choose whatever you want. What did you choose? Panel, okay. And then you can choose between using a custom formatting, deciding on your own. You get to change things there downwards a little bit later. Or you can use a previous formatting style, which we don't have at this point. Okay, so we're just going to leave custom formatting. And then you have to decide what pages you're going to flow this into. So click on Select Pages, and that's going to give you the ladder. Now make sure, you know, I'm flowing junior class, so I'm going to check on all the pages that are designated to the junior class. So you have to scroll down, and you're going to have to go find 8th grade, which starts on page 90, and it goes all the way to page 93. Once you check those 4 pages, 90, 91, 92, 93, click on Done. Okay? Just remember that if you check the wrong page number, the wrong group of kids is going to go to the wrong page. You don't want that. Alright, so click on Apply, and that automatically generates a little layout for you. And on the bottom of here, I'll download those pictures later for you. Okay. On the bottom here, you have pages 76 and 77. Here, Joel, do you want to do it yourself?
Sure.
You can just connect this to the side of the camera.
Okay.
Anyway, so we're on page 76, 77. You can tell that there's 6 columns, and there are 6 rows. So there's 36 kids per page if they're all full. If you, and that's on my case. I don't know what's happening on your side, but it's the same idea. If you click on the arrow, it moves on to the next spread, which is page 78, 79. And you notice the way is actually laid out. I end up with a big, huge gap on the end because I only have 122 students. Okay, so I don't know. Yeah. But the thing of it is online design tries to automatically make this the size, a certain size. So anyways, let's click on, you have on the lower right, you have options like cancel, save portrait style, or flow portraits now. Let's click on flow portraits now. And what that's going to do is going to give you an opportunity to save your portrait style, and it's going to be defaulting into whatever grade number it is, and the word style underneath, behind. Just leave the default. So yours should say grade 8 style, and mine says grade 11. So click on save. That's going to save the portrait style. When you click on OK, it's going to be flowing the pictures too. Apparently, my there's one spread that is locked. Did yours have any problems to you? Huh? Yours went through? All right, good. I'm going to go unlock my spread here. See what's going on here.
So did you set the 7th grade one up already?
Just for testing, yeah. Oh, you see what's happening here? This is the junior class spread here. For some reason, that was locked up. So I'm going to have to unlock it. 76 and 77. Unlock to edit. I go back to student body. And okay, so anyways, once you flow them, click on flow portrait. Once you flow them, you get a little screen that allows you to click on the pages to edit. Go ahead and click on those. If you look at my screen, you end up in this, and you can click on the little pencil, and that takes you to the page. And it gives you a little preview of what the flow results are. So it's coming on my screen. Is yours coming?
Yeah.
Alright, so this is interesting. If you look at my screen, you're probably seeing something that you don't see on yours. I'm going to zoom in on here to show you better here. So I change the zoom tool and I zoom in here. You notice that the pictures all come in, and also I have names, Matthew McConaughey, whatever. Now, the one thing that I want to call attention to is that if you use the selection tool and you mouse over and you click on these things, these are picture frames, and you can actually move them. See? You can, I can destroy this thing if I wanted to. I can. Oh, look, Victoria's right here. So I can erase Victoria and delete her from the playbook. Boom, gone, delete. Just an example. So, and you see that the names, they're also text frames. So you can drag, you can change the font, you can do whatever. You can say, hey, Victoria's name, we change that to bold and italicize it for some reason. I don't know. This is a regular text frame. What the flow in Portrait does is generates this for you. Okay? Another thing that you notice on my screen is that I have a background, and that background is the JPEG of the spread that he was doing earlier. Okay? That tells you that the flow, it doesn't affect what's already on the page. If there's a picture on the page, it keeps it there. So you can use this knowledge to create cool backgrounds for your panel pages. See what I'm saying? The software, the flowing portrait software, only generates this little portraits and their names automatically for you, whereas it doesn't mess anything up on the back. So if you wanted to do a background for your page, you will insert the background as an image, and then you'll flow the portraits onto the top of it. Okay? All right. So let's go ahead and save and close this, and let's go back to flowing portraits. You notice that I messed it up, right? I erased Victoria, and I messed up her name, and I moved some people's pictures around. So now that we already have a portrait flow, did you mess up yours?
No.
Okay, well, say you did. You're gonna go back and say, okay, I need to fix that. You click on Modify, and then you're gonna choose the grade that you're working on before that you want to modify or reset, and you click on Modify. That shows up over here again, and if you click on Flow Portraits again, that is going to redo the whole process, and is going to fix whatever problems you had before. Look at my screen. You're going to see that now Victoria should be back there, and the picture should be put back on the right order. You see how she's back?
Yeah.
So, and then her name is still fixed and everything. So just know that you can't break this thing, okay? Anytime you do something, you make a mistake, and you cannot undo your way out of it, you can just reflow the whole thing and reset it. All right, I'm gonna go back to Flow Portraits and show you more advanced stuff that you can do. And in this case, so make sure you go back here, go to Modify, choose the grade that you're working on, so you can get here. And let's take a look at the other options that we have on the left. Are you there? All right, so let's click on Basic Layout. On the Basic Layout, you get to change the shape of the portrait box. You know, right now it's a rectangle with sharp edges. You can click on rounded corner edges, and you can click on Apply. You can take a look at what it looks like. Or you can make it little circles, like not circles, but little bevels, ellipses, right? So you can choose the style, and the software does that all for you. If you decide that you don't want these panels and you want the mugs, you want the names underneath the pictures, you can go back to General, and you can change that as well. All you need to do is select what you want and change and click on Apply. Okay? So it's totally up to you. There's a lot of, the panels are a lot of pages, and it seems like a lot of work, but the software is doing a lot of it for you. You can also decide on how many columns you want, how many rows down, just how many rows and columns. Okay, so if I have 6, which is 36 per page, but you can change that. I can have, I don't know, more rows. So I increase by 7. If I click on apply, that adds a row of people. The problem that happens if you look at my screen is that because I'm putting more people per page, the last page turns empty now, right? So you kind of have to think of, okay, well, how do you want to make your pages? Do you want to make perhaps even less, like 4 rows down instead of, let's go 5. If I go 5 and the number's too little, they're going to say that there's not enough space on there's not enough pictures to cover everybody. So if I want 5 rows down, I have to crank up the number of columns. And what that does is going to automatically make something like this. So anyway, so you have to decide what you want. But let's say you leave it like this. What could you do with the empty space? You could put candidates in there. You could put features in there. You could feature, Victoria does something cool in junior class. So you could say, Victoria won the lottery in this year and she won $10,000, whatever, and she bought a whatever. So you can actually create little journalistic pieces that are interesting and using on the space. And remember how when we flow this thing, we click on flow, it creates these frames and you can actually move them and select them. You could actually go on your page after you flow like this, you click and drag this whole selection and you drag it down so that the position of the candidates is not always the same, right? So you can put some candidates on top and on this page here, put them on the bottom. You can do whatever you want. Let's go down to advanced layout. In advanced layout, you can choose to put a color border between a black border of whatever thickness around the pictures. You can, half a point, black, and boom, or white, depending on your color of the background that you have. On my case, it's a white background, so if you put a white border around, you won't see it. But you can't. If your background is not white, you could. Buffer zones is the distance between each row, right? So you have distance between the top, 36 points. You see this little gap here? If you crank this up to 41 and click on apply, you notice that the gap in between the 2 rows is greater. And so on, inside, outside, right? The inside is between rows, and the outside is on the outside edges here between that and the names. You can also change portrait sizes, but these are in points. So height, how high you want to be or how wide you want to be. Also, the width of the text box, and this is an issue that you have to worry about. Sometimes there are some kids that have very long names. Like there's a kid called Gabriel Jennings or something. But his name is hyphenated with Edmonton or something. So it ends up being a huge name. So how do you, is your text frame in which names go into, is it long enough to accommodate everybody, or how do you have to play with that. Let's go back down to text formatting. And in here is how your text names are formatted. You can choose between different fonts. At this time we only have 2 installed, but we can put more. Okay? You also choose side, color, style, whether it's bold, italicized, or underline. Do you want how many lines per student? I don't think. Yeah, we only have. Yeah, we don't have much information. You can put first name, last name, or last name, first name. But obviously, that's something that Yearbook 2 is going to come down and say, oh, this is what we want. But if you have some ideas that you think are going to look visually attractive, you can put that on the spread draft as well. Anyway, so no changes or lowercase, uppercase, or title case, in which everything is uppercase, but whatever. So anyway, so you can also go to advanced customization. this is something that is interesting. By the way, before you switch, you always have to click on apply, otherwise you lose your settings. This is the only thing that is a little more complicated to understand, which is this little check marks. What the heck does that mean? Basically what happens is, if I uncheck, look at this, I'm unchecking, and it opens a gap. And what happened to those 4 kids? They're still there. They got pushed on the back, on the end of the, like right now, if I'm going to open another gap here to right here, 1, 2. You see how they are automatically shuffled down? So, and this is useful if I wanted to perhaps embed, or I need this space for a picture that I'm using. You can use this unchecking thing to create a gap. So you don't have to flow your portraits and go to your page spread and then click and drag manually. You can just use this to uncheck and create a gap, and then go there and actually put a picture in there. Okay? So that's basically it.